This short video is going to help students with the English verb forms. There can be a lot of confusion with verb tenses, and hopefully this will show you that there's more going on than just simple verb tense. In this first panel that you're looking at the word aspect, and you may not know what that means, but let's look at a chart. Notice what's going on here. We have the left-hand side of the chart is telling us the verb tenses, which you already know. It's present, past, and future. But this other right-hand column is looking at aspect. Now you might ask, well, what is aspect? Well, it's the other parts, you might call it, of verbs that give us nuances. They give us finer details about how or when things are happening. For instance, the progressive or continuous, which puts an emphasis on continuation of action, and the perfect, which relates points of time or shows spans of time, and we'll talk more about that. And of course, these two aspects can be put together to create the progressive perfect. But let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's look at sentence 1. We have a simple verb form here, the present continuous. A lot of you are familiar with this. But to show you that writing has nothing to do with tense, we're going to look at sentence 2. Now we have I was writing. Notice we did nothing here with the word writing. All we did was change the verb to be from am to was. The tense is separate from the aspect. Now this might be a little hard to understand at first, but you know that writing is called a present participle in this form. Well, present participles really have nothing to do with tense. We'll talk more about that in a separate video, but for right now, you should not be fooled when you see an ing verb. You should not think that it is automatically in the present tense, because you will never know the tense of a verb from an ing ending. If we go to number 3, what we have here is a present perfect verb. I have taught for 11 years. Well, where do we get the tense? Well, it's not here with taught, because taught is a past participle, but we have it here in the verb have. Here is where we can tell that we are in the present tense. The verb taught is in the past participle form, and it shows us an aspect here, that there is a span of time from one point to another point, and that is really all the perfect ever does, is it relates points of times or spans of time. It does not put a focus on duration or activity like the progressive does, but it does relate to spans of time. And in number 4, notice we still have the past participle here. It hasn't changed, but what we've done to change the tense of the verb is change have to had. So present participles do not tell us anything about present tense, and past participles really don't tell us anything about past tense. We'll talk more about present and past participles in another video, but let's look at one more screen here. Again, it's the same chart, but let's just look at these tenses and aspects, and then we'll go on to the next video. For our simple present tense, we have I write, and then for the past we have I wrote, and then for the future we have I will write. For the progressive, we have I am writing, and for the past progressive, I was writing. For the future progressive, I will be writing. And for the present perfect, we have I have written. For the past perfect, I had written. For the future perfect, I will have written. And then for the present progressive perfect, we have I have been writing. For the past progressive perfect, I had been writing. And for the future progressive perfect, I will have been writing. So you can see there's less to memorize this way, because you really have two different functions going on. You have one verb that's going to show you the tense, and you'll use that to place it in time, and then you'll have another part of the verb that will show you the aspect.